This
project
conference will now be recorded.
consultant and support project. So we are done with the implementation and support. So now you know what all the activities we perform in a project if it is implementation or support. So today we'll discuss about a new concept, and this is our first concept for sales and distribution, that is enterprise structure. So customer, that is the client, decided to use SAP for their business, and if customer want to use the business with SAP, that means they want to use SAP system for their business. That means their business, whatever the business model is there, that means it could be number of plants, sales office, sales organization, sales groups, sales districts, everything. This all should be replicated in the system, right? This all elements should be present in the system, right? So with enterprise structure, what we are trying to do is we are trying to build the customer's complete system in the SAP system. Okay. So whatever the physical entities customer has, that all we are trying to put it in the SAP system. This is also called as org model or organization structure. It could be called with any name, but in SAP, we call it with a name called as enterprise structure. An enterprise structure is where we try to replicate the customer's business into SAP system. Enterprise structure in the project, it's a group activity. So there will be workshop conducted for this enterprise structure. Probably it will take some 3-4 days or a week to discuss on the enterprise structure. So it's a workshop conducted where all the stakeholders will be participating and discussing on the best practice of enterprise structure, what all the elements we should have. But the lead will be taken by the FI consultants. Lead will be taken by FI consultants. So as this is an ERP, SAP is a ERP, right? So if it's a ERP, it has lots of integration between various departments, or in SAP we call them as modules. If you take SD, SD cannot function independently, or FI cannot function independently, right? So we have lots of dependencies here and lots of integrations. So for that reason, this would be conducted as a workshop, and everything will be discussed. What best practices should be having everything, right? So even in the learning also, we cannot just learn only SD module. We should also know integrations. Without integrations, you cannot try even SD process. So wherever the SD, FI, PP integration happens, so all the integrations we will be discussing. Every possible integration between these modules we will be discussing, and these integrations are also already documented. So if you see in the folder whatever I have sent to you, so whatever the integrations we are talking now, these are integrations are also documented. SD, FI integrations. You see, this document has every possible integrations which will happen between SD, FI, and module. So let's go ahead and see how this enterprise structure works and what all the structure we have. So out of this enterprise structure, this is FI, and this is SD, and this is This comes under LE. This is WM, which is out of our scope actually, right? For us, these are enough. So to start with the enterprise structure, the first thing is company. So company is not mandatory, but a company will be creating only in 2 scenarios. So what are the 2 scenarios in which we create a company? That is scenario 1, a business like Apple, okay? A business like Apple, which is an MNC based out of US and has presence in various countries. It could be India, it could be Australia, it could be UK, so on and so forth, right? So this is one scenario where we create company. That is a global company MNC where it has a presence of in various geographical locations or different countries. This is one scenario. The other scenario where we create a company is like Tata or Reliance, where they have it's a local company. In the local in the sense, it could be a global company as well, but this is a particular to India, right? So Tata have business like Tata Motors, Tata Power, Tata Steel, Tata Tea, Tata Coffee. They have various businesses, right? So on and so forth. Okay. So this is one scenario where we would be creating a company. So company is created only in these two kind of scenarios, where a global company has presence in various countries, or a company like Tata, a group of company like Tata Reliance, where they have presence in various verticals of businesses. Only in these scenarios we create a company. To take Patanjali, do Patanjali will have a company? Anyone?
No,
Patanjali,
no, no, no.
No, sir.
no, right? So Patanjali will not be having company because Patanjali basically it's only an Indian company. Right? It operates only in India. Okay, they may sell their products in other countries, but it's a basically Indian country, right? So Patanjali will not be having company, right? So this is company. Company code. Okay, again, when it comes to this activity, we call this as organization elements or org elements. We call them as organization elements or org elements. It could be anything. We call this with that name. And company code. You see this company code? Company code is actually the business. Let's say Apple, if they want to start their business in India, what they need to do? Anyone? From where they have to start?
Setting up a plant. Your company registration.
Right?
Company
So
registration.
they need to register their business under the land of law.
Companies
Okay,
Act.
right. So if Apple want to start a business in India, or in fact any business it could be, if Tata want to start a new business, okay, if in India if you want to start a new business, we need to register that business under the Company Codes Act 1956, mentioning what is the shareholders, where is your office, and shareholder pattern, everything is all details we need to give, and we need to register. And that will be the reference address for your tax or like you could GST or your bank or your profit and loss statements or you conduct AGMs, anything it would be as a address, right? That's called as registered office. Okay, that's called as registered office. So company code represents a business. Okay, company code represents a business. That means if Apple is a company, Apple doing business in India, Apple doing business in Australia, and Apple doing business in Japan. So if Apple is starting business in India, everything, localization, legalization should be happen, right? That means they need to register, they need to take a PAN card in India, they need to register under GST, labor license, anything, everything is in India. The language is English and the currency is INR. So everything is under the localization and legalization of that particular land of law. If Apple goes to Japan, if Apple is doing a business in Japan, then the currency, the language, the rules and regulations, and everything would be of Japanese, right? So whatever the profit and loss Apple is making in Japan, is it anyway concerned to India?
No.
No, sir. No, sir. No.
But what happens if the profit and loss of Madhavi, there is a lots of background noise from your side. Can you please check? Yeah. So there's a lots of background noise. Please keep on mute, Madhavi. Yeah. So, but what happens with this profit and loss? Let's say in India they have made a lot profit. What happens to this profit? Anyone? Where this profit will go? To the parent company, right? Right. Whatever KFC or
Yes,
McDonald's or Apple is earning in India, ultimately where does this profit goes?
Apple US.
It all
to
goes to
to their
parent company.
respective parent company.
The parent company. Let's say Tata is the parent company, Tata Sons. So Tata has a business of Tata Motors and Tata has a business of Tata Coffee or Tata Steel, anything it could be. So what are the profit and loss Tata Motors is making is anyway concerned with Tata Coffee or Tata Chemical or any other company?
No.
Yes, sir.
No, no,
No way related, right? No way related
not
because that is an independent entity, that's a different business, right? So nothing. But when it comes, what happens to the profits or loss they make? They obviously Tata Sons is responsible, right? So company code represents a business. Company code is a physical, right? It's a physical, it has an address, or else to put it in a definition, what is company code? Company code is the org element which is responsible for all the external financial activities. All the external financial activities. It could be banks, it could be the tax departments, it could be the labor department, anything it could be. Company code. This is what responsible because this is a registered office and this is what the responsible for. That's a standard definition in SAP. What is this particular company code? The standard definition is it's an entity which is responsible for all the external financial activities. Okay, that's a company code. Anyway, this will be created by RFI. We don't do this. Under this particular company code, okay, the relations are also important. There's no change in S4HANA. Whatever we're discussing enterprise structure, it's exactly the same in S4HANA. There is no change in it. Relations are also important. Tata, Sons can have any companies, any number of companies, right? So this is called as one to many. Can Tata Motor belongs to Reliance? Not possible, right? This is one to one. If it is Tata Motors, it has to belong to Tata Sons. This is one to one, and this is one to many. The relations and the directions are also important. In the interviews also, they ask this question. Okay, so under the company code, you see there is something called a sales organization. This is our area of interest. Sales organization. I'll take India as a country. What is sales organization? Sales organization is again a physical. Okay, sales organization is physical. Sales organization. Let's say whatever. Let's say you go to a bank. Okay, you apply for a home loan or a vehicle loan or a personal loan. Who fixed the interest rate for this all? Anyone? Who decides what should
RBI.
be the processing fee?
RBI.
Why would RBI interfere in the bank's matter? Interest rate is the bank's detail, right?
Yeah, for a private bank, but for a nationalized bank,
For
maybe.
any bank. For any bank, RBI doesn't have any interference in fixing the interest. They can only decide repo, but they cannot decide on what should be the interest rate. Okay. Like what authority will take this
Central
decision?
bank.
Who will take this?
Central
What
bank.
authority can will it be
CFO
decided by
level.
branch manager? Right? So it is not decided
No,
by the
it's a
branch
CFO
manager level, right? It is either at the CFO or vice president, highest level possible. So they all will be discussing this. Let's say if I have some branch in Banjara Hills, Hyderabad, Will this branch decide for all the bank branches? Let's say this is
No, no.
ICICI, right? Will this
No,
Banjara Hills branch in Hyderabad will decide for all ICICI? No, right?
no, sir.
This is a strategic decision, because if ICICI is offering for 15% and some other HDFC bank is offering for 13%, what happens? All the customers goes to HDFC, right? That means this should be a very strategic decision competing with other players, right? So who will take this decision? This decision happens at a very high level, right? So sales organization is physical, where your like CFOs or vice presidents, they will be sitting and making the strategic decisions. Sales is not executed in sales organization. Sales is not executed, but strategic decisions are made. Strategic decisions will be made here. It could be vice president sales or IT sales, anyone. So they will be sitting here and making the decisions. So if I take India as one country, then we could say domestic sales and export sales. All the domestic sales will come under D001 sales organization. All the export sales will come under E001 sales organization, because anything under SD module should come under sales organization. Whether you create a customer, whether you create a credit memo, whether you create a sales order, quotation, contract, doesn't matter. Anything you create under this SD module, that should be under sales organization. Right? So, like, see, I have just discussed one very simple scenario, that is, I use D001, and for MNC, upper exports, I use E001. Very simple scenario, right? But SAP allows you to create any number of, SAP will allow you to create any number of sales organizations. It is always recommended to have your structure, enterprise structure, very simple. Okay, you cannot complicate it. If you complicate it, later there will be a lot of repercussions. So we need to leave this very simple. So as I told you, SAP will not stop you. SAP allows you to create any number. Okay, but in interest, they ask a question: how did you convince your customer to have as less as possible, as less sales organizations as possible? Why? You see how complicated the structure can be. It's a D001, but I want northern sales, eastern sales, southern sales, then west. Some companies again make it as northeastern sales. They make clusters, right? So you see how complicated the structure is getting. As your structure is getting complicated, your reporting also will get complicated. So it is recommended to keep the structure as simple as minimum as possible. But SAP will not stop you. You can create any number of sales organization, but you should tell your customer the replications, what will happen if you create more than necessary. So sales organization is the highest org unit under the highest org unit in SD model. In FI, the highest org unit is company code. In SD, the highest org unit is sales organization. So anything in SD module should be under sales organization. Then next, below to the sales organization, you see there is something called as distribution channel. Again, this particular, the structure goes same. One company code can have any number of sales organizations. So this is again one to many, and this is one to one. Okay. So the next is under sales organization, we have something here called as distribution channels. So what is this distribution channel? I want to buy a car. Where do we buy a car? Anyone? Do we go to the plant?
Showroom.
Showroom, car
At a
showroom.
dealer.
right? We go to the dealership. We don't go to the plant, right? We know where this car is manufactured, we know, but we don't go to plant. We go to the dealership, right? Or anything you take. I want to buy a TV. Where do we go? We don't go to the plant. Distribution channel is a channel through which the goods reach the end customer. Distribution channel is it's a channel through which the goods reach the end customer. So plant, then you have maybe the distribution channels can be dealers, distributors, wholesalers, retailers, online, institutional, government. So like this, we can have various distribution channels possible. Okay. Let's say there is a college and this college want to buy 100 college bus, or there is a government hospital or a government police department. So government police department want to buy maybe 100 cars. Where do they go and buy? They go to dealership.
No, they don't.
No.
Where do they buy? Right? So, okay. Yeah, please mute. Yeah. So where do they buy? They're bulk deals, right? Maybe 100 cars or 100 college buses. They can directly negotiate with the company. See, you can never eliminate a distribution channel. Let's say ICICI is starting 100 new branches. In every branch, they will have 4 computers. For every computer, they need one Microsoft license, right? The Windows license. So how many licenses they need? Total 400
Four.
licenses. Where do they buy? They will buy online.
Direct
No.
plant.
Right?
No, from the
They
direct
can write a
Microsoft.
yeah, they can write an email
Direct
to Microsoft
company.
saying that we need 400 license. Will Microsoft directly sell it to them?
No.
No.
Channel partner.
Unmuted.
Micro,
No,
micro,
no.
Microsoft has partners. Microsoft has the partners. So whenever there is a bulk volume like this, the companies check the dealer who can handle this volume. Because see, you can directly go to the plant. That means you can directly talk to the company and they can offer you a better price, right? And but if tomorrow there is a repair for one vehicle, will you take it back to plant? Will it be possible practically? No, right? You need to go to the nearest dealer center or service. So you can never eliminate the dealership. They cannot eliminate dealership. But what they can do is they can offer you the best price and they can guide you the dealer who can handle this volume. Okay. So that is distribution channel. Let's say dealer. What is the difference between a dealer and distributor? Anyone? What's the difference between a dealer and distributor? Check. Try to find out. Okay. Google it or somehow find out what is the difference between a dealer and distributor. Okay. So institutional, you know it. It could be college, it could be hospitals where they buy in volumes, and government, as you know. Tata Motors manufacture trucks and cars. Tata Motors manufacture trucks and car even for the defense purpose, right? Can we buy this?
No,
Can
sir.
we buy
No.
this?
We-
Right?
No, sir.
That means what material a customer can buy that is filtered at a distribution level itself. The distribution channel itself is filtered what materials the customer can buy. Because there are various ways where later we'll see that means like what materials customer can buy or what materials customer cannot buy. If you want to restrict some customer to buying from some materials, there are various functionalities. But at the very high level, at the distribution channel itself, we can control what materials a customer can buy. If I'm a dealer, I cannot buy the defense vehicle. And see, here, whenever I say customer, it is not you and me, individual, who buys one car. Okay? When we say customer, the customer is a dealer or a distributor or a wholesaler, retailer, institution. It could be anything. Here in the SAP SD, when we say customer, that is also a business. It is B2B. Okay, it's a business to business, and there is no individual customer here. Okay, so a dealer cannot buy the defense items because only government can procure it, right? So at the distribution channel itself, the highest level, it is filtered what materials the customer can buy. Technically, one sales organization and one distribution channel is called as sales line. In the interviews, if they ask a question, what is sales line? Then it's a combination of sales org plus distribution channel. Mhm. The relations are same. Okay, distribution channel is imaginary. It's not physical, it's imaginary. In the SAP system, it's imaginary. Then we have division. Then we have a division. So Maruti cars, Maruti manufacture cars. Maruti also manufacture minivans or ambulance. Let's take Tata Motors. Okay, Tata Motors manufacture cars. Tata Motors manufacture trucks and buses as well, right? Trucks and buses. Let's say Tata Motors manufacturing a new vehicle called as Safari. Under which category this will go? Anyone?
Car.
It's a V.
Cars.
Car.
Why? Why under car?
Because
It's under same group.
Right? The
Character group.
properties. Right? The Safari property is it's a car. Right? It is not a truck or it is not a bus. Right? Samsung or LG manufacture TVs, air conditions, and refrigerator. So today, let's say LG, if it is manufacturing some OLED TV, under which category this should go and see?
TV's category. TV's category.
Because, right? Because of its properties, right? Because of that particular material characteristics or properties. It is a TV. It cannot be a refrigerator or air condition. So distribution channel is grouping of similar items. Again, in the TV, you can have LED, OLED, maybe some 32 inches or maybe 65 inches. Anything it could be, right? It could be LED or it is OLED or it can be Ultra HD or it could be 35 inches or 65 inches, doesn't matter. It is a TV because of its properties. That is distribution channel. Distribution channel is grouping of materials with similar characteristics or properties. That is distribution channel. Sorry, that is division. Sorry, that is division. Okay, very important question in the interview. Who configured a division in your project? Okay, who configured division in your project? Because see, division usually cross module, or we can say division belongs to MM, let's say. But SD will configure in the project. That is the reason very specifically they ask this question. Who configured a division in your project? SD will do that. Right? You see this? Sales organization, distribution channel, division, one set. has been put into a box, right? The combination of one sales organization, one distribution channel, and one division is called as sales area. Sales area. So anything under the SD module, as I already mentioned, it should come under sales organization at the high level, but sales area, it's called as sales area. Anything under SD module, as I told you, it could be customer, it could be credit memo, debit memo, transaction, whatever you do, that should come under sales area.
Sales
Come
area.
under sales area. Under sales area, we have sales office. These are imaginary. Under sales area, we have sales office. Sales office is physical, and sales office, that's where the sales is performed. Okay, it's a physical where customers can walk in. You can perform sales, address grievance, anything it could be. That's where a physical location where the sales is executed. The decisions are made here and executed at the sales office. Right. The next is under sales office, we have sales office is physical. Okay. Sales office is physical. Under sales office, we have sales group. Sales group is again imaginary, and a sales group is a group of people or a team. You take Tata Motors, you'll have car sales team different, truck sales team will be different, right? Or you go to a bank, home loan team will be different, insurance team will be different, right? So sales group is group of people who is performing common objective. Okay, who is performing common objective, right? That is sales team, sales group. So coming to the SD, this is the structure. Coming to the SD, this is the structure. We have sales organization, then distribution channel, division, sales office, that is we put together as a sales area, and then we have sales group. This is related to the sales. Then let's also move on to MM. Let's MM also we should know. Plant. When I say plant, what comes into your mind? Anyone?
Manufacturing unit.
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing.
Heavy machinery.
So when I say plant, machinery, noise, pollution, right? Sound, right? Do Amazon have plant
No,
or do Zomato
No,
have
no,
plant,
no,
no.
no.
right? Amazon has a plant. Okay. So plant is need not to be, let's say my business model itself is like a drop shipment. Amazon, you take Amazon, we don't manufacture and sell, but we procure and sell. Your
They have
business model itself is a drop shipment. Amazon fulfillment centers or Amazon warehouses, the big warehouses, they are nothing but plant. Because plant is not always a manufacturing plant. A plant can be also a storage plant. In the case of Amazon, it's a storage plant. That's where they store the material and then from there they deliver it to the customers, right? So
aren't those warehouses?
what is that?
Aren't those called warehouses?
No, warehouse is again different. Okay, warehouses are
Oh,
different where you only store the material. From there you don't deliver it to the direct customer. Okay, warehouse, depot, C&F, these all are again different. Plant is under you take warehouse or depots. This all comes under the plant. Plant is the highest one. Because sometimes your warehouses and depots could be as big as plant, but that should come under a plant. Okay. So plant is like you take SD. From SD side, we call plant as a delivering plant. From MM side, we call plant as a storage plant. From production side, we call it as a manufacturing plant. So plant is not the same for every module or how the way we see it, right? It depends upon the business, how you function. That means if you are a manufacturing and selling the goods, that is different. If drop shipment like Amazon, that's a different one. Right? So Amazon also do have plant, and that is, as I mentioned, that is a storage plant. Again, very important interview question. Plant belong to which module? Okay, plant belongs to which module? Or for, for sure, it is not for FI and SD because for SD it is sales R. For FI it is company code. Only other two modules, MM and PP, right? So now plant belongs to which module? In interviews also they ask this question. That's the reason very frequently. What is the highest organizational unit for SD, MM, PP, FI? SD and FI there is no question, but coming to the PP and MM, that's where the conflict comes. So if it is for interview purpose, plant belongs to PP. For MM, the highest organizational unit is purchase organization. Just like sales organization, we have something called as purchase organization. Okay, and it's not mandatory that every project should have PP module production because, as I told you, if a drop shipment kind trading business, you don't need production module, right? So for our discussion, we'll consider plant for MM module. Plant, any highest org unit in any module should be assigned to company code. You see this? Any highest org unit in any module should be assigned to company code because finance department is the heart of any business, right? Plant is such a very big size, right? Plants can be very huge. How do I know where is X material in the plant? Or how do I know where is the raw material in the plant? Right? So we have to organize it. Plants are so huge. We have to organize them. How do we organize? We classify plants into storage location, MM activity. SD will not do that, will not have access. Plant will be classified into storage locations. So if I classify and call this as storage location 1, this is storage location 2. All the X materials I put in storage location 1 and all the Y materials I put in storage location 2. Now I want to find in this plant, where is X material? Anyone? Where is X material in this plant? Under the storage location S1, right? You go to Costco or you go to big stores like Metro or Big Bazaar, any big stores. You ask them, where is this material? If you cannot find some material and you ask them, where is the material? They can easily tell you, right? They can also tell you in which aisle that material is sitting. How can it's possible for them to that such precisely out of that many materials? How can they do it? Because that's how they organize. That's how the warehouse management team organize every material, right? So a plant is classified into storage locations. Okay, and storage location, that's where actually we place all the goods. Under to the storage location, it goes into the warehouse management, which is beyond our, this is a separate module, beyond our scope actually, this is enough for us. So if it is a warehouse management WM module, we could also precisely tell which aisle the material is sitting, how much quantity is sitting there, right? So plant is classified into storage location for easy maintenance of goods, physical, all are physical. So now let's say if I want to do delivery of a material, okay, how cars are delivered? Anyone? From the plant to dealership, how cars are delivered?
By truck.
By
With
trucks.
by trailers or truck.
Okay, so how these cars are loaded onto truck? Can I load through crane?
Containers.
No, how it is loaded into the truck?
it will be driven inside.
By driving.
Manual,
Driver.
right? So there would be a person who would be loading into this, right? So that means, see, what possible ways we can do a delivery? You can do a delivery by road, by rail, by air, by inland water, and overseas. Overseas is ocean, and inland water is within the country. You have water channels, then you can do a delivery. These are only the 5 possible ways what you could do a delivery, right? And as I told you, cars, it's loaded onto truck. How? Manually. So there are different ways of loading the material into the conveyance. So you take cement bags, or you take steel, you take coal, or you take iron ore, right? Or pharma products. Every material has different way of how you load it. Shipping point. Shipping point is a departure zone from where the goods are delivered to customer. So basing on what material that particular shipping point has to be determined. And what are the various of loading groups we can have? That could be a crane, it could be conveyor, it could be manual, right? Or you can have forklift. These are various kind of shipping points we'll have. Sorry, loading groups will have how the material is loaded onto the truck or any means of transport. So shipping point is where the delivered goods is delivered to the customer, and this we also call this a departure zone. And shipping point is assigned to plant. Okay, shipping point is assigned to plant, and under the plant, we'll have a shipping point, and from where the goods are delivered to customer. This comes under LE module, logistics execution module. See, plant is cross module. Okay, it's cross module. It's neither MM, neither SD, neither FI, right? So it's a cross module. We'll see in the system as well where it looks. We'll see these things. So these are organizational elements, and this is what we need in the SAP system for SD to proceed. We have various other elements as well, but we don't need them. For SD to check scenarios and to make our process smooth, at least these elements we need in the system, right? This is about the enterprise structure, and on Monday we'll start doing our configurations. I'll just take you through the system. I'll send you the vendor number so you can arrange your server by this weekend, and from Monday we could start our practice on the system. So on your desktop, you should see this icon. That means once your interview is done, your offer is done, and they will be sending you a laptop, right? So if your company use your laptop for work, then on the desktop, or like you should see this icon. If this icon you see, that means SAP is installed in your system. If it's a new system and SAP is not installed, then you can write an email to your basis consultant asking them to install this particular SAP GUI. This is called as GUI, Graphical User Interface. And this is how we connect it to the SAP system. And you'll see various instances like this. Certain things you may have access, certain things you don't have access. In SAP, access is very much restricted. By any chance, if you try to open something which is not relevant to you, immediately you'll get a mail from security consultant, right? Why? And you need to give an explanation as well why you try to open that, right? So security, like these are security is at the very high level when it comes to the SAP authorizations. So we'll have various instances. So whatever the server provider will be providing you, or in the real time, whatever you have access, you can just double click this and it opens the SAP window. It asks for the client. Your client number will be different in the project, as we already discussed earlier. You can give the ID and password. This is whatever we are discussing. This system is ECC6. ECC means Enterprise Central Component, and EHP means Enhancement Package. Okay, EHP means Enhancement Package. So just log in with your credentials. Log in with your credentials. By default, you will be landing into the screen, which is called as SAP Easy Access. Okay. By default, you will be landing into the screen. and this is called as SAP Easy Access. Only end users will have access to this screen. Only end users will have access to this screen, so they can create master data and transactions in this screen. They can create master data and transactions in this screen. Let's say if I want to create a customer. So we can go to, let's say, this is called as menu path. Okay. We can drill down the menu path. Let's say sales and distribution, then master data, then business partner, customer, and create and complete. So here it's not showing. Let me do this one moment. One moment. Select in settings to activate. No, one moment. Visualization one and show. Yeah, drop down list. Okay. Let me go to easy access again and yeah, logistics, sales and distribution, then master data, business partner, customer, create. Maybe I need to again log in. Sorry, we need to again log in because we didn't change. So what happens is, okay, this is menu path, right? So if I click on complete, let's say you see, it takes it to a screen called as create customer. Okay, it takes us to this screen. The same transaction we can also access through every transaction in SAP will have some short code called as T code or transaction code. The same transaction, I don't need to go through menu path. I can also call, this is called as transaction bar XD01. This will also take us to the same screen. So any transaction SAP, you can access either through a T code or menu path. Okay, build down the menu path, or we could go through this particular screen. So this access will be only for easy access this will be only for the end users. Consultants will not have access to these transactions. As a consultant, where do we work? As a consultant, we work in IMG screen, implementation guide. And how do we access this implementation guide? That is SPRO. The T code is SPRO. SAP Project Reference Object. This question was asked for almost 5 years consultant. What is SPRO? Okay. SAP Project Reference Object. Just give this and enter. Then click on IMG or you can press F5. So this is where the consultant's screen, and you can see every module here. SD module, MM module, production module, logistics execution, plant maintenance, QM, CS, EHS, every module you'll see here. Our area of interest is the sales and distribution, right? So this is where we work as a consultant. Okay. So I'm in this screen now, and I want to access one more transaction. Let's say I want to create customer any transaction, XD01. You see, nothing happens because T codes work only in easy access. Okay, T codes work only in easy access system. It will not open in other systems. If you want to open this in other screen, you need to prefix your T code with /n or /o. /n or /o. Right? You see, system has taken to now different thing, but earlier system has not allowed us to proceed. Right? You need to prefix it with /n or /o. Then only system will allow us to take. Other than easy access, T codes will not work. You need to prefix it with /n and /o. If you want to open a new window, this is the icon. But I hope your UI, what you are seeing, it may not be like this. This is still 740. What version is this? 760. Then why it is showing? One moment. Yeah, you will be practicing on 760 or 770. One moment. It should, the screen should not look like this actually. In settings, signature theme. activate SAP query features. Yes, this has to be activated. Now, if I say OK, and let's come out. Let's come out and let me log in once again. Yeah, you see, now everything has been changed. It doesn't look like what is earlier, right? So this is the new screen on which you will be practicing. I changed anyway. I'll also tell you. Practice only on this screen. Don't practice on the old screen what I have shown. This also again need to be changed. Yeah, this will also change. The way how this screen has been changed, the 760 version, this also will change. We have settings for that, right? So this is very old version actually, 740. In the new versions, you don't see these icons and all the things, right? So this is a server. So I'll send you the contact detail of the service provider. It should be somewhere around 1,000 or 1,200 for 3 months. No business connection, so you can bargain, take a demo access, try it, put all your questions. That is whatever is your laptop configuration and everything, and get it done. Okay. If you know someone or you already have access, you can still use that. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
one query actually. Is there any particular version that we need to install or how it is?
ECC6. ECC6. That's only the version what they'll be providing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, any question, anyone? Right.
To have this installed, what is the minimum requirement of a system? Like how much has to be
You
there?
can ask the service provider. They know better. They can suggest you better. But better you take the remote desktop. Ask them for remote desktop. That is better. Okay. Ask them. They can guide you better. Like Abdul, can you please mute? Yeah. So you just put your laptop configuration to them. They can better guide you. Okay.
Uh, will will he provide HANA as we discussed? Like
Yeah. And also they'll provide.
specific, should I ask him like a version or 1909 or
2021 would be better because there is some changes in 2021 in AATP. It's better to go with the latest version.
okay.
Okay.
Sir, one more request. As it's weekend, if you could share a video, I could
Definitely.
revise, right?
Definitely I'll share.
And a
Actually,
document. Actually,
my emails got deleted because of the drive storage. Very hardly I retrieved my all your emails back actually. If not, we would not have session today because I don't have your email IDs. So since afternoon, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to pull out all the email IDs and my old data. So I'll send it, the videos and everything. Okay.
documents as well, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the company code, actually, we have company to company code one to many. So company code to sales operation also one to many, or it's one to one?
One to many. One company code can have any number of sales orders.
Sales office. Sales office will be linked to sales office will be one or each separate one, or it will be linked to sales office model.
Anything is under sales org again. Under SG model, anything is under sales org. Okay. So we'll call it a day today. Catch up on Monday, and Monday we'll continue with the configuration. Next week would be complete configurations. We'll be going with we'll start with enterprise structure that will take one session or two sessions. Then after customer master, 3 sessions. So next week will be complete configurations. So you could arrange your server by this weekend. So from Monday, we could start doing configurations. So good day, everyone. Catch up on Monday. Bye.
Fine.
Unmuted.